So hello dear students, this is the 9th video lecture of chapter 12 electricity class 10, and in this video lecture we are going to discuss factors on which the resistance of a conductor depends. Topics which I had already covered in my previous video lecture of these electricities are Introduction to Electricity, Section 12.1 Electric Current and Circuit, Section 12.2 Electric Potential and Potential Difference, Section 12.3 Circuit Diagram, Section 12.4 Ohm's Law, and in this video lecture we will discuss factors on which the resistance of a conductor depends. So if you want to watch these previous video lectures, then click the I button. To discuss the factors on which the resistance of a conductor depends, we will take help of an activity which is 12.3. So apparatus required for these activities are a cell, ammeter, nichrome wire of different size and length, switch or plug key, and connection wires. Here we will in this activity we will take four kind of different wires. First, a simple nichrome wire. Second, nichrome wire will be the double of the previous nichrome wire. In third, the length will be same, but its size, its area will be larger with respect to first one. And fourth, we will take a copper wire. So we will take these four kind of wires in this experiment. First, let us draw a circuit diagram. Here this is the battery, this is the ammeter, which here it is a plug key, and here we had left a blank space for connecting the different type of wires. Why we had taken these four kind of different wire? To understand that by changing wire of different length, different area, how the resistance will change in the circuit. First, we will take this first nichrome wire, and by placing it here, the circuit will be completed, and note the reading of the ammeter. Now we will take the nichrome wire which is double the length of the first one which we had taken. So we will place it in such a way, and hence circuit is completed, and we will note the reading of the ammeter. Now we will take the third nichrome wire which is double the area of the third one nichrome, and we will note the reading of the ammeter. And at last we will use a copper wire, and we will note the reading in the circuit through ammeter. So what does we conclude from this activity? We conclude, or we observe, that the ammeter reading decreases to 1/2 when the length of wire is double. So first we had taken this first nichrome wire of length L. In second case, what we had taken? We had taken the nichrome wire of length 2L. So when we will use this double length nichrome wire, what we will observe that the ammeter reading is reduced by 1/2. The ammeter reading is increased when the thicker wire of a same material and of the same length is used in the circuit. It means that when we had taken this third number nichrome wire of double material and same length of L, what we has observed in ammeter reading? So ammeter reading is increased. So ammeter reading in the fourth case, which is here we had used a copper wire of different length and different cross section. So here the reading which we got in the ammeter is different for different material or cross section. So what we had noticed that when we had doubled the length of the wire, the ammeter reading is reduced by half, and if we had used when we had used the wire of double cross section of a same material and same length, the ammeter reading is increased. So what does we conclude? That resistance of conductor depends on length, second, cross section area of a material, and third, which is nature of material or the type of material which we are using. So these three things is most important thing, that the resistance of a conductor depends on length, cross section area of a material, and nature of its material. So from this activity we can conclude that resistance is directly proportional to length of the material. As length increases, resistance also increases. As length decreases, resistance will also decrease. So we can conclude that resistance is directly proportional to the length of the material, and we can also conclude that resistance is inversely proportional to the area of the material. Resistance is inversely proportional to the area of the material. As area will increase, resistance will decrease, and as area will decrease, resistance will increase. So is that clear to everyone? Comment in the chat box. So from that we can also conclude that resistance is directly proportional to the length by area of a material. Isn't it, student? Comment me in the comment box. So as I also told you in the previous video lecture, if we have to remove this proportionality symbol, then we have to put a constant. So here we will put a constant which is rho. Its symbol is like this. This is the symbol of rho. So R is equal to rho L by A. We will call it as rho, 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 and it is denoted like this. So R is equal to rho L by A, and rho, which is a constant of proportionality, and it is also known as electrical resistivity. SI unit of resistivity is ohm meter, and it is the characteristic property of a material. The metal and alloys have very low resistivity in the range of 10 raised to minus 8 ohm meter to 10 raised to minus 6 ohm meter. This is the resistivity of metals and alloys. So you have to remember this for MCQ. They are a good conductor of electricity. And if we talk about insulators like rubbers and glass, so their resistivity is of order 10 raised to 12 to 10 raised to 17 ohm meter. So you have to remember this for your MCQ purpose. And both the resistance and resistivity of a material vary with temperature. So you have to remember this thing also, that both will vary with temperature. So from here we can conclude once again that as length will increase, resistivity will increase, but as area will increase, resistivity will decrease. Table 12.2, which you can see on your screen, reveals that the resistivity of an alloy is generally higher than that of its constituent metal. So resistivity of the alloy will be higher than metal, you can see here. And alloys do not oxides or burn readily at higher temperatures. For this reason they are commonly used in electrical heating devices. You have to remember this also, like electric irons, toasters, etc. Tungsten is used almost exclusively for filaments of electric bulbs. So bulb which we use in our house, you can see a small wire inside it, which is your tungsten. So it is mostly used in filaments of electric bulbs, whereas copper and aluminum are generally used for electrical transmission lines. This table is important for your MCQ purpose. So hope everything is clear in this video lecture. That's all for today's video lecture. In next video lecture we will see the numericals related to it. So if you still have any doubt in this topic, then you can comment me in the comment box. That's all for today's video lecture. Thank you. Notes are uploaded on the bloggers page of Time to Cram. So visit the bloggers page to download the notes, and the link of the bloggers is given in the description box. So check the description box, get the link and download the notes. And if you find this video helpful and informative, then like it and do share it with your friends and classmates. And yet you had not subscribed to our channel Time to Cram, then subscribe it. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you will get latest notification and update when new video is uploaded. That's all for today's video lecture. Thank you.